Thank you, everybody. It's really great to be here in front of a room that I'm not trying to convince to vote a certain way. Yeah, as you saw, my husband had bone cancer, and we had to go through a lot of loopholes in order to get him treatment. And when his treatment center told us we couldn't come through the hospital doors anymore for his treatments, I had to take him to an emergency room in a different hospital in order to get his pain relieved. And for me, that is what started my journey, which got me here tonight. We decided to sue, even though we didn't want to, but when all the bills started coming in and they were denying his treatment and we couldn't get any help for him, my husband did say to me, it may be too late for me, but this should not happen to people. So we did decide to sue. Then, when my husband passed away, I was left with $500,000 in medical bills, and I refused to sign that confidentiality agreement so I could speak out about it, even though they came back and said, we will pay all the medical bills if you will sign this agreement and be quiet about what you've learned and about what you've been through. I said, no, I want to speak out about it. I didn't want anyone else to have to go through the suffering I saw my husband go through because I couldn't get him treatment because of the policy we thought we had. But how was I going to get the voice out? How was I going to tell people? And that is when the Consumer Watchdog group came into my life and gave me the platform to speak. At the time, there was a bill on the Senate floor, as Jamie explained in his book, that if it passed, the insurance policy like Doug and I had, the junk insurance policy, would become normal in this country. And this bill had a good chance of passing. So the Watchdogs asked me to go to Washington, D.C. and Sacramento to speak out to legislature and Congress and tell them my story. And so there was my platform. I got to be able to talk about my story. I had the privilege of, where is Carmen and Jerry Flanagan? I had the privilege of traveling with Carmen and Jerry. And I can tell you firsthand how hard the Consumer Watchdogs work for us. I remember Jerry picking me up at 5:30 in the morning a couple times in a cab to make sure I was on that plane to go to Sacramento. And I remember when we flew to Washington, D.C., speaking over dinner about our strategy for the next day to try to get this bill knocked off the floor. We got up the next morning, we went to the Hill, and we're going to Senator Feinstein's office, Senator Boxer's office, this office, this office, this office. I cannot tell you how many offices we hit by noon, until finally Carmen said to me, okay, we get a break. They're going to lunch or a meeting or wherever they were going. And believe me, Jerry and Carmen knew everywhere they were going. I have no idea but they did. So I sat down, literally, I remember we were sitting on the floor in the hallway, and I was rubbing my feet or something, and Carmen said, okay, while you're sitting here, call these people. And she handed me a phone and a piece of paper, and it must have had 100 phone numbers on it. And we did. And then we got up again, and we hit more offices. So I got to speak out about the bill, about my story to everybody, and we were determined to get the bill knocked off the floor. Went to more offices after lunch, and we waited with bated breath. And it was very, very close. But I'm happy to say we got that bill knocked off the Senate floor. I learned through the Consumer Watchdog group many things. And the one thing I learned, the main thing I learned, which was very, very important to me, was that one voice really does matter with its ripple effect. One voice makes a difference. One vote, $1, one fax, one signature really makes a difference. So when you get the emails that you see from the Consumer Watchdog group, please open them up. If it's a cause you believe in, they make it very easy for you to send that fax with your name on it. It does make a difference. And I want to thank you all for being here to try to make a difference. Have a wonderful evening. I am honored to be acknowledged by the Watchdog group in memory of my husband. Have a great evening.